Welcome to the Art Schools Network No More webinar series. We are offering you programs on vital topics, current projects, and trends in support of excellence in art schools. Today, ASN is partnering or here to tell you about our partnership with the Strategic National Arts Alumni Project. It's an opportunity for arts high schools. And our special guests and experts on our webinar are Sally Gaskell, the SNAAP Director, and Rebecca Houghton, the SNAAP Project Coordinator. I'm Christy Calloway, the Executive Director for Art Schools Network. Next slide. We are here to create resources for art schools leaders and teams and networking opportunities. We all get better together, and leaders of art schools have unique job types. Today's information is specifically addressing tracking your arts high school alumni. I'm always looking for new webinar topics, so I hope that you'll email me or call me with your ideas if you have a great resource for all of our membership. The next slide will tell you about our membership. We're all over the United States, Canada, the UK, Singapore, and other wonderful far-flung locations, and we're here to make sure we share common successes and best practices. Today, I have Sally Gaskell with me. She's the Director of the Strategic National Arts Alumni Project. Hi, Sally.
Hey, Christy.
It is such an honor to have Sally with us here. She's been with SNAAP since 2008, the Director since 2012, and I've been watching their data and findings and trends, and it's been so much fun to report and share with the field. Sally's also, in her other life, the chair of the City of Bloomington Arts Commission. She's very active in advocacy at the local, state, and national level. I have crossed paths with her in Washington, D.C. when we've gone to National Arts Advocacy Days. I'm happy to say she's a board member of our network. And if she doesn't have any more overachieving qualities, she's also a musician. And then Sally is also here with Becca. I'll nickname her, but Rebecca Houghton is the SNAAP Project Coordinator. She's my lifeline whenever I need some data. Miss Becca will get that for me within what her powers are able to pull. She runs all client services there at SNAAP, and she also has a long history in supporting research that helps people make informed decisions for their communities. So Becca, I'm so happy you're here. Please take over and tell us more about what SNAAP is and what offer you have for our member high schools.
Thank you, Christy. So to give you a brief overview, SNAAP is an online survey of individuals with degrees in the arts from arts high schools, colleges, and universities in both the U.S. and in Canada. The primary mission is to investigate the educational experiences and career paths of arts graduates. We then take the findings from the survey and provide confidential data and reports back to participating institutions. We also publish research for the field using the aggregate data set. SNAAP is housed at the Center for Post-Secondary Research, which is part of the School of Education at Indiana University. CPR is also home to the National Survey of Student Engagement. We also have a longtime SNAAP research director, Stephen Tepper, who is now Dean of the Herberger Institute at Arizona State University. So we also partner closely with ASU for our national research publications. So a little bit of history. SNAAP began back in 2008 with generous startup funding from the CERDNA Foundation in New York. Since then, more than 300 institutions have participated, including 22 arts high schools. The first 3 years of SNAAP were field tests where schools participated free of charge as the survey instrument was developed and refined. And then in 2011, we had our first annual administration in which schools paid to participate. Since then, we've had 140,000 respondents, including over 4,100 arts high school alumni. So SNAAP really is the most comprehensive source of information about arts graduates. In fact, we're the first of its kind alumni survey. There's not a comparable alumni survey of this size or scope in any other field that we are aware of. So in 2014, we paused from administering the survey and conducted a market study. We took time to examine how we were meeting the needs of our clients, which led to the development of SNAAP 2.0. And based on feedback from our existing clients and potential clients, we made some improvements to our offerings. We have a new shortened core questionnaire. We offer topical modules. The modules are 20 question item sets that schools can choose to add to the core survey at the end. We have a different pricing structure, so rather than having schools pay based on the size of their alumni files, we now charge based on arts enrollment. We launched SNAAP 2.0 in 2015, but last year the survey was limited only to institutions of higher education. So we're very excited to open SNAAP 2.0 up to arts high schools in 2016 and to form this new partnership with the Art Schools Network, where you'll have the opportunity to participate in SNAAP at a discounted rate. So the questionnaire has around 6 topics. The first is formal education and degrees, then institutional experience and satisfaction, current work and career, arts engagement, income and debt, and demographics. And as I mentioned in the earlier slide, we have 2 modules that you can choose from, either internships or career skills and entrepreneurship. We also ask about 16 different skills and competencies, both how much they are acquired while enrolled in art schools, and then as well as how important the skills are in alumni's current work. So that often provides useful comparisons. So all institutions participating in SNAAP receive a complete data set plus reports. The first report is called Data Highlights, and it's a summary report featuring responses to selected questions in the survey, and institutions have found this particularly useful over the years. The next report is called Responding Characteristics, so you'll get a breakdown of all the demographic data about the institution's respondents, so whoever responded to the survey. Then the frequency report shows the numbers and percentages of responses to each of the questions, and you'll have the chance to compare your alumni's responses to those of 2 customizable comparison groups that I'll work with you to help develop those. And then similar to the data highlights and frequency report, you'll receive similar reports limiting the sample just to your recent graduate population. So you'll see the responses just for those recent graduates. And then the alumni comments report contains all responses to any of our open-ended questions. And then new this year, we are offering data visualizations. These are separate from the institutional reports. And this is just a prototype from the new data visualization, which is still under development. And a template like this would be produced for each participating school. And it just picks out some important data points for each section of the survey and shows schools' specific stats compared to the national data, but in a more visual format. So I'm going to turn it over to Sally, who will talk to you about how you can use your SNAAP data.
Great. Thank you, Becca. And just so you know, if you do sign up for SNAAP, Becca is the person who you'll work with most closely on your survey administration. And you'll be lucky because she gets rave reviews from all of the people we work with. So, how art schools use their SNAAP data. This is how some of the ways that art schools, including arts high schools, that have participated in SNAAP up to this point have been using their data. So, in no particular order, one key way is advocacy. Your SNAAP data will demonstrate the way that your alumni feel about their high school education, how it's prepared them for their college and for career. And unless your school has radically different results than most, your alumni are, by and large, extremely grateful for their experiences in school and for their intensive arts training, no matter what they do currently in life. SNAAP is also very useful for alumni and donor outreach. In fact, one of the reasons that SNAAP came into being is that the good people at the Cerna Foundation discovered that most schools that they worked with did not know anything about their alumni, their arts alumni, and that they certainly did not keep in very good touch with them. So in fact, just doing SNAAP is a good way to reach out to your alumni, and in a way that's not just asking them for money. That alumni really like to be asked about their life experiences, what they've done since they left your institution. And of course, it's also good for all donors to realize that you're collecting important data about your effectiveness over the years. Now, if you're
I want to interrupt you real quick about alumni feeling valued. I hear so many stories of, or just enough of them, that alumni are engaged through the survey back to the school where they graduated, and they have a deeper appreciation because of this process they went through, and they really get back involved beyond a donor level where they actually might help as a co-fundraiser or a personality on site, a personal success story that's available when they come home and visit.
Yeah, in fact, alumni, many have said in their comments that they would love to come back to campus and show current students what it's possible to do with a degree in the arts, an arts high school degree or other degrees as well. So if you're faced with recruitment issues, which some schools are, then again your data can be very useful for demonstrating what your own alumni feel about their education and again what they've gone on to do with it. So program and curricular change, that kind of reform is of course perhaps the hardest nut to crack for all schools. But in fact your SNAP data will show you both your strengths and your weaknesses. Many college and university schools have made changes to their career advising, sometimes their academic advising, and they've definitely beefed up on their offerings in business and entrepreneurial training, among other things, because that's what their alumni have told them that they need more help with. Moving on actually to the next slide, I'm going to talk about planning and assessment. This is a quote from Chris Ford, who's the director at the Baltimore School for the Arts. Chris has said that SNAP data help us understand our long-term impact on our students' lives. The knowledge that we gain from SNAP helps us grapple with imagining how we will prepare our students in school for the future, which is a hugely important question for all creative institutions. Chris did a session at the last Art Schools Network conference in Seattle about how his school has used its SNAP data in an ongoing manner for planning and assessment. And I thought that was a good example of an arts high school using its data. Next slide. SNAP data can help you, in sum, answer these kinds of questions. We ask about what your alumni are doing now, how many of them are working in the arts, how important was their arts training to their current work, whether it's in the arts or whether they've gone on to be a doctor, a lawyer, a laborer of some sort. In fact, there was a wonderful quote from an alum of one of the arts high schools who said that they learned all of the skills that they learned in their training at their arts high school, such as collaborative, teamwork, creativity, etc. That person uses every day in her career in law enforcement. I thought that was a terrific, terrific quote. You can also, of course, learn what skills do they learn. Becca mentioned that skills, we ask 16 different competencies and skills, both how they learned them in school, if they did, and how important they are to their current work. We ask them to rate their overall experience at your school, and that's some of the happy data that we usually are able to provide to participating schools. And then certainly what might the school have offered to help prepare them for future education or careers that they didn't perhaps provide. So you can take that information and use it in consideration for future planning. So if you're interested in participating, and we hope you are, the first question that you need to think about is, do you have an alumni database? And we've discovered over the years that arts high schools in particular have some issues in whether or not they even have an alumni database. So you need to be sure to think about that now up front. Do you have an alumni database, and what shape is it in? SNAP requires you to submit. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little feedback. I don't know if somebody could maybe turn off their phone. Okay, that's better, thanks. SNAP requires you to submit the name and graduation year for each of your alumni, and it's extremely helpful if, in addition, you have a home address, even if it's out of date, and an email address, because ultimately, the SNAP survey is administered online, so we will need a valid email address to be able to invite your alums to participate in the survey. We do help you find a few of your lost alumni through a national search firm that we work with called Harris Connect. But even so, the burden is largely on you to have as up-to-date of an email list for as many of your alumni as possible. We can give you some hints, some tips to help you do this. For example, we can help you figure out how to look for your alumni through LinkedIn or Facebook. So please, if you're interested in participating and you want to work on your alumni database, get in touch with us now, and we can help you a little bit to prepare for that. So registering for the 2016 SNAP survey, as Becca mentioned, we're inviting arts high schools to participate for the first time since 2013. We're going to open registration on the SNAP website in April. The SNAP website, snaap.indiana.edu. The registration will be open until July 15th. And then finally, the cost of participation. We wish we could offer it for free, but we can't. So here's the cost laid out. There's a registration fee that we ask for each arts high school. That's $150. That's a non-refundable fee. But in fact, it's only $100 if you register by June the 1st, so a little incentive there to not wait until the last moment. As Becca said before, we're now looking at the number of students that you have enrolled, and we've divided your schools into what we think are small to medium-sized arts high schools and then larger arts high schools with enrollments of 600 or over. So you can see on the screen what the fees are for both. And the partnership with ASN is that we want to provide a financial incentive and a discount for those of you who are ASN high school members to participate in SNAAP. The enrollment is based on the number of students enrolled in the most recent year that's verifiable by NCES, which is the National Center for Educational Statistics, which is part of the U.S. Department of Education. And for all public schools, that's the agency that collects enrollment data, and that's how we can verify how many high school students that you have. So that's pretty much all it is, all from us. We'd love to know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Sally. The questions that folks will want to direct it to is snap@indiana.edu, and you can see their phone number there. I'm happy if you would like to reply to any of our emails. You could certainly ask me your question. I'll forward it straight on to Sally and Becca, I assure you. Both Sally and Becca will be getting a follow-up summary of who was registered and participated in today's webinar, so they can personally email you and make sure that you have all the information you need. I want to make sure as a bonus that you know about our national conference coming up, which is in Dallas, October 25th through 28th. Our theme is on partnerships. But I want to plug also something coming up in March through SNAAP. And Sally, I hope you'll follow up with your registered group about the 3 Million Stories Conference, which is a really enlightening gathering of SNAAP findings and alum and colleges, and just reshaping the future to meet where it needs to be. If you're not a member already of Art Schools Network, we hope that you will become one. As you can see, we provide a lot of quality content and networking opportunities. We want to thank you for joining us today, and please share this webinar with your friends and colleagues. It's going to be available on our website within 24 hours. Thanks for joining us. Say goodbye, Sally. Say goodbye, Becca.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thanks to you all for tuning in. Yes.
Thank you.
Have a great week, and keep doing all the great things you do.